This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.
Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. And ladies and gentlemen, it's finally here. The Knicks season has started. It's here. And we got a crazy lineup of content for you today, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, we're starting this morning, or this afternoon, it's not this morning, with the pregame show. And ladies and gentlemen, after the pregame show, we have an interview with Miles McBride's high school coach. And you'll be linked directly to that interview. It won't start until 4:30 or so, but you'll get a link. As soon as this stream is over, you'll get a link to that interview. It's going to be dope, ladies and gentlemen. So make sure you're here with us all the way through. And then after that interview, of course, you'll be able to watch the game. And then we'll be back on for the post-game show. And in between, there's going to be a documentary that's aired called Knicks Nation, produced by Chuck D. The link is in the description of the video. You can go check that out in the meantime and in between time, ladies and gentlemen. And yes, I'll be in the documentary. But anyway, let's go ahead and get this thing popping. I got Steph in the building. We got Andy in the building. Let's do it, ladies and gentlemen. Steph, good afternoon. How you feeling?
Good afternoon, Sim. Andy, always a pleasure, Andy. I don't get a chance to share the panel with you often. I'm excited, Sim. You know, this is going to be a marathon. You know how we do on this channel. Pre-game, post-game, shoot-around, Queen's Court, controversy. So we got people, we got everyone covered for all their Nick content. Andy, I'm not going to let that out the bag. When you're ready, you could talk about it. So I'm excited. I'm ready.
Yeah. Andy, what's up, man?
Yeah, what up, Sim? What up, Steph? The pleasure is also, on my side. Good afternoon, good evening for the European fans. Happy to be on with you guys.
Yeah. Well, let's get right into it. Let's talk about the injury report. That's what I want to jump into first, the injury report. Checking it out on the official 1:30 report from the NBA, and I'm going to blow this up so that people can see it a little bit more. For the Indiana Pacers, Karis LeVert, he's out. Edmund Sumner is out. TJ Warren is out. And for the New York Knicks, Nerlens Noel is questionable, and Mitchell Robinson, we know, is out with a foot injury. So my question to you is, do we see Jericho Sims in the starting lineup?
We better. If Tibbs rolled Taj out there just to start this game, I'm not gonna be happy. I think it's preseason. It's an opportunity for us to see Sims play. We saw him play in the summer league, but to really see him play, against NBA talent, against his teammates. Listen, this is an opportunity for him. If Robinson is out, he's not going to be here for the beginning of the season. We need another big.
Yeah.
And so I think he should get all the run he can handle so we can see, if need be, can he handle it? So, yeah, I'm hoping Sims gets to start.
Yeah, this would be the time to do it.
Yeah.
Andy?
Listen, guys, our coach is Tom Thibodeau. When you're injured, you get only like 20 minutes. So I wouldn't be surprised if Nerlens gets that burn and, gets that start even. I think for Tibbs, the most important thing for the preseason is getting that chemistry up in the starting lineup because we have 2 new guys in the rotation. So I wouldn't be surprised. But, being questionable on that list, it depends if it's a broken nail on a finger or it's something more that could linger, right? If it's something that can get worse, it's like I don't know, a bruise or whatever, that's definitely going to get better. I'm thinking that Netherlands is going to be on the court tonight. If he's going to be playing major minutes, probably. But if he's not going to be on the court, I'm thinking that injury can develop and evolve to something worse. That's why he's not going to get playing time.
I just don't see. Well, if he's
You don't see the
questionable,
sense in playing him, right?
yeah. If he's questionable, I just don't see what the sense is to play him and put him on the floor.
Right.
If he's questionable, I mean, why take any chances on him getting hurt? It just doesn't make sense to me. Why you would take any chances whatsoever, on him, whatever. And it is. So Nerlens Noel is questionable with a sore left knee. And of course, Mitchell Robinson is out with a sore right foot. So if his knee is sore, why take that chance?
Exactly. And you know what? I'm saying I would feel more comfortable if we had an experienced third guard. We might need another big on this team, with how fragile Noel is as well, So, hopefully they don't take that chance and we get a chance to see Sims.
Yeah, and look, it'll be a great chance to see what he can do against NBA competition. Yeah. You just waived Luka Vildoza. So it'll be a great time to see, what, do we want to just bring this guy up, let him take that 15th roster spot, and then we give somebody else a two-way? This is the perfect time to do it. The games don't mean anything in terms of your record.
Right.
But it means something in terms of developing culture, developing chemistry, laying down the foundations of how you want to play the basketball game, and seeing who can do what.
Right.
So I think it's the perfect time to do it.
No doubt about it.
That being said, I'm going to predict that Jericho Sims starts tonight. So in my projected starting lineups, I have Kemba Walker at the point guard spot, Evan Fournier at the shooting guard spot, RJ Barrett at the small forward, Julius Randle at the power forward, and Jericho Sims at the starting center spot, ladies and gentlemen. And then for the Indiana Pacers, you got Malcolm Brogdon at the point guard spot, Jeremy Lamb at the shooting guard spot, Justin Holiday at small forward, Domantas Sabonis at power forward, and Miles Turner at the center spot. Those are the matchups that I see out here on the floor tonight. Obviously, neither team is going to really be scheming and setting up strategies to beat one another. This is more about getting the guys in shape, working on what you have, and developing your systems rather than, beating the Pacers or beating the Knicks.
Right.
But, this is a good team, I think, for the Knicks to face off against in their first preseason game, because the Pacers are going to play hard-nosed basketball. The Knicks are going to play hard-nosed basketball. So we get things popping right away. Any thoughts, Andy, on these lineups that you see here?
Listen, even if Netherlands would be starting or playing major minutes, I still think that the biggest deficiency for the Knicks is at the center position, at this point at least. I think Sabonis and Randall, they're really close. So, that matchup is going to be great. At the three, I think, I hope we're going to have an edge with RJ. So, that will be fine. I know the point guard position between Kemba and Malcolm Brogdon, I think both are playing kind of a consistent game more than any kind of explosiveness and stuff like that. So that's going to be also a really close and great matchup. And the shooting guard, game, I think, Evan Fournier could take, Jeremy Lamb, to school, but it could be vice versa as well, because, Jeremy Lamb is a really streaky guy. So, he can put in buckets in bunches. So listen, I think it's going to be a great matchup for both teams to, like you said, to prepare for the season, for the big games.
Yeah. Steph?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're gonna have the advantage at small forward and shooting guard, in my opinion. Um, Kemba and Brogdon, that should be a good matchup. But Brogdon is big, right? Brogdon is
Yeah.
like 6'4".
Yeah.
So that's going to be a challenge for Kemba. So we'll also get an opportunity to see how he plays against, bigger guards, because that's pretty much what it's going to be, game in and game out for him. And I think, yeah, obviously Miles Turner, not obviously, but you would think Miles Turner have the edge over Jericho Sims. And Sabonis and Julius Randle, that's always a good a matchup, good matchup to watch. So it's going to be interesting.
It is going to be interesting. I look at the lineups, and I always ask in myself what the defensive matchups will be. When I look at the starting lineups for the Pacers, I mean, the smallest person is Malcolm Brogdon at about 6'4". For the Knicks is Kemba Walker. So clearly, I mean, who else can Kemba Walker guard but Malcolm Brogdon now?
Right.
Kemba Walker's experienced in the league, so I think he probably understands what he needs to do, because he's been in the league for a very long time, so he knows what he needs to do. But I always wonder about these matchups when we start to play a team. Who are we matching up against, and who defends who? Looking at these lineups, I don't know if there's going to be much difference if you have Evan Fournier guarding Jeremy Lamb or Justin Holiday, or R.J. Barrett guarding Jeremy Lamb or Justin Holiday. Obviously, today, knowing Tom Thibodeau, he's going to say, "Hey, we're going to act like this is a real game, and we're going to, we're going to throw some matchups out there and da 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 da." Which, if that's what you want to do, I get it. I mean, we seen last year when we got into preseason, he talked about how lineups, could change 20 games into the season or whatever. Nope. The starting lineup that he started with is the starting lineup that he finished the season with. I think Tom Thibodeau likes to hit the ground running and start to build that chemistry right off the top. So we'll see. These are the projected lineups, ladies and gentlemen. The projected lineups. I want to ask you, what are you watching for right now as we enter this game? What are you looking forward from the Knicks?
Well, I've said it multiple times, Sam. I really want to see this offense, and it's going to be an opportunity to see, did we run the offense we ran just because of personnel? Or did we run the offense that way because that's just the offense Tibbs likes to run? So, and that includes pace and transition baskets. So I'm looking for the offense, hoping that it's very diverse, hoping different people are initiating the offense so that it's difficult to guard. I'm looking for pace. Are we moving the ball up the floor faster? Are we trying to get transition baskets? From what I understand, Tibbs doesn't like to play that way. We'll see. And defensively, I'm really looking to see how our defense looks. I know it's early, so I'm not gonna, make a big deal if we don't look that great. But with the two new additions, I'm looking to see how our defense looks.
Yeah. And before I get to Andy, I just want to say to some people in the chat, there are people asking about Jericho Sims and why he's in the projected starting lineup. And this is why, ladies and gentlemen. Nerlens Noel is questionable with a sore left knee. Mitchell Robinson is out with a sore right foot.
Right.
So I have said, you know what? I'm going to put Jericho Sims, I'm going to project him to be in the starting lineup over Taj Gibson, because this is the perfect time to do it.
Right.
If he's not in the starting lineup, he's going to get playing time. Let's put it like that, I think. he'll get a lot of playing time if he's not in the starting lineup. But that is the reason why I projected him to be in the starting lineup, ladies and gentlemen. All right? Andy, I'm going to get to you. What is it that you want to see from the New York Knicks? What are you looking for?
Yeah, I'm happy Sim you explained that so people don't think it was a clickbait.
Right.
Yeah, but to add to the things that Steph said, I am really going to look close at the two-man game. I wonder if Kemba and Fournier are going to be playing, that two-man game that's going to transition from the Celtics, or they might have a little bit more chemistry, both of each other, than with the rest of the team. And also the two-man game between Evan Fournier and Julius Randle. We know that Randle was playing plenty of possessions with Reggie Bullock. Reggie's not here, but he's substituted by, Fournier. So I'm wondering if that, like Steph said, the offense is going to be a little bit, looking like last season, or it's going to be totally new. If it's going to be, more like last season, we shall see, that two-man game between Julius and the shooting guard. And I wonder if it's going to be only Fournier or if it's going to be maybe Kemba and Julius.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's going to be RJ with Julius. So, and also, if Sims is starting, I'm going to be looking at him plenty of time. So,
Yeah, exactly. And maybe I should have put on that on that graphic. Maybe I should have put Jericho Sims / Taj Gibson, but I wanted to make a splash today, so I just put Jericho Sims. Here's some things that I'm looking for tonight. Number one, what does the defense look like? I'm really concerned with that. Given the fact that we have two new players in that starting lineup, possibly 3 tonight if Jericho Sims does start, which is a good case why he may start Taj Gibson because he wants to keep that continuity. But I want to know what the defense looks like. And I want to remind people, Tom Thibodeau and the New York Knicks, they have their defensive and offensive principles plastered on the walls at the gym in Westchester. And here are their defensive musts. The first one is transition defense. All right. And I'm interested to see their transition defense tonight. Okay. Because, that's a key. It's always a key. Compete. We know they're going to compete, but I'm watching for that just to make sure that they compete. Well, nothing I can do about it, but Tom Thibodeau. Challenging shots. That's number 3. Number 4, defend. Be physical without fouling. Early high hands. Number 5, hustle plays. Be the first to the floor. Get charges, blocks, etc. Their stance and vision, right? Their defensive stance physically, and also where are they located on the floor so that they can see what defensive rotations need to be made. Number 7, think help without the ball. And number 8, gang rebound. Ladies and gentlemen, I am going to check for these musts all season long, defensively and offensively. Every time we have a game, I'm going back to these musts. All right, and what the Knicks must do to be successful. The next thing I'm looking for is an early look at the offensive system and how we want to play basketball. And I think we get an idea of their offensive system through the offensive musts or principles that the Knicks have put in place. Pace, sprint, right? Play with pace. Don't walk the ball up the floor like we did every possession last season. Space the floor out. We have shooters out there. Kemba can shoot. Fournier can shoot. RJ can shoot. Randle can shoot. Space the floor out so that we can have open lanes to the basket. Play with the pass. That means once the pass is made to one spot, it should initiate movement on another part of the floor. All right, so play with the pass. Attack the rim. That goes back to spacing. Right? That floor is spaced out. We got lanes to attack the rim. Move without the basketball. All right, don't just stand there and watch. Set screens for each other. If there's not a play called, you know how to play basketball without there being a play called. Go set some screens. Cut to the basket when it's open. All right. Offensive execution. I expect it to be a little ragged tonight, because the season's just started. And then threes. And you'll see in my what to watch for, how many threes did the Knicks shoot. And then offensive rebounding. Mitch is out. Who's going to take up the slack for those offensive rebounds? So I want to get an early look at the Knicks offensive system. Again, how many threes do we take? How do the rookies look? And we may get an early look at Jericho Sims. And then, of course, playing hard and hustling. Those are some things that I'm watching for tonight. You know, I really don't care if they win or lose, but I want to see some of these principles in place. Mark, thank you for joining us. What's going on with you, my brother? How you feeling, man? You got to unmute yourself. There you go. You're good.
You hear me now?
Yep, you're good.
Yeah, not much, man. How y'all doing, man?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. You excited for tonight? You don't sound too excited. What's up?
I'm just, preparing myself. I'm just, trying to get the energy back. But I'm excited. It's just certain things I want to see that I feel like is going to happen. I just want to see more players on the floor. So it's just certain things I want to see. I just hope he don't overdo it tonight.
Okay.
With certain players. So I just want to see certain things. So it's just me not trying to get too much excited.
What would overdoing it mean for you?
Like, I don't want to see Julius Randle playing 30 minutes, even 25. I want to see him play 20. Let Obi get the rest. If Noel's not playing, let Sims play. I don't want to see.
You said let Obi get the rest or let him get the reps?
Yeah. No, let him get the rest of the minutes. I don't want to see Randle play.
Okay, I see. I
don't want to see Randle play 30 minutes. I don't want to see that. I already know what he's going to do on the floor.
Right.
I want to see Kimba 15 to 20 minutes. Fournier 15 to 25. But the rest, I want to see the other guys get it in. But I just feel like it's not going to happen. And I just want to see more. I want to see more offensive sets with RJ, with more responsibility with RJ in the play. So it's just, I just hope I can see those certain things. That's why I'm not trying to get too excited. Because
so you think Tom Thibodeau is going to, play these guys major minutes tonight? That's what you think.
It's not even major minutes, but he's going to do things so there'll be a chemistry, like where it could be continuity. He's just one of those guys, because this team has came this far. He ain't gonna budge, because he's gonna go with what's working for this team and where we are today. And I just feel if he does not do it, cool. But that's Tibbs. Tibbs do what he feels is needed. And sometimes, it's called for. So you can't really be mad at how he do things, because it works. But I just don't want to see certain players' minutes going over minutes that we don't need, win or lose. It's not a win or lose situation.
It's not. It's not a win or lose situation tonight.
Right.
Not at all. I think that Tom Thibodeau understands, and he'll say, listen, get the guys out there, let them play a little bit. Get their feet under them, get their legs under them, especially guys like Kemba Walker and Derrick Rose.
Yeah.
Let them get their feet under them a little bit, and then let the young guys go out there and ball. I think he will do that.
Like, for example, Trae Young got hurt yesterday.
Yeah.
So, I just don't want no injuries with this team, because we're not that type of team to be, thinking that one injury can hurt us in some ways, especially if it's an important player. So just mind yourself.
Right. Nah, I feel you. I understand. I get it.
But I'm excited, though. I'm just excited because just see ball play.
Yeah. If Nerlens Noel is not playing tonight, and I see no reason for him to play if he's questionable with a sore knee, do you think it's going to be Jericho Sims that starts, or do you think Taj Gibson starts?
It better be, because I said, throw this kid in the fire, man. I said it when we dropped. Throw that kid in the fire. Throw him in the fire. I think why even risk Noel playing if he has a sore right knee? Because I just came off a sore right knee. I just came off of it. It's no joke, bro. So if he has a sore right knee, sit down. Just throw the young guy in. If he makes mistakes, cool. It's a preseason game. But throw him in the fire, because I think that kid defensively is so good. It is so good. And young guys just need the confidence. I just want to see the confidence on the younger guys more than the vets. I want to see how the young guys gonna come out. So don't even Noel, sit him down. Sit him down. Get us on the and Taj, he's old. Let him come in when it's needed, man.
No, I mean, I agree with you.
You don't need to see Taj. Taj is solid. One thing about Taj, you don't complain about when he's on the floor. He does the right things at all times. So it's like, why would we need to see him?
So let me ask you this though. Obviously, we know mentally Taj Gibson's going to be there and he's going to be ready.
Yeah.
At all times, he's always going to be ready. That's Taj Gibson.
That boy, yeah.
Okay?
Right.
But is it more important for a rookie to get preseason minutes, or is it equally as important, let me say, for a guy who's Taj Gibson's age to start to get some minutes so his body can get loose and his body can get in shape? Instead of waiting until the first game of the season and Mitch and Nerlens Noel is out and these are the first reps that he gets.
All right, so check this out. You start Sims. If Taj want to get a little piece, he comes off the bench. But I want to see Sims. If Noel can't play, throw Sims in there because I want him to start play. I want him to see NBA speed, how guards going to attack him at the rim and stuff like that. Because he can move. He can move his feet. So I just want him to see more of the speed of the game, how he can handle it. I just want to see how he looks at the game. I just want to see how he looks at the game. So I want him starting, and if Taj want to play, he could play a little 5, 8 minutes, 10 minutes. But if Noel can't play, put Sims out there, man. Throw that kid in the fire because there's a lot of things to his game that I think it can mature very quick. Because one thing about him, what I like about him compared to Noel, when he gets the ball, he looks to dunk it. Like he don't look to pass out. He looks to dunk it or get fouled. And that shows you signs of him being a potential scorer under the basket and him not being afraid of putting the ball in the basket. So I want to see the young guy. It's good for the young guys to just get the reps because Taj been solid everywhere he go.
No, we get
everywhere he goes. So, it's just he could come off the bench, but let Sims start. Or if Taj's going to start, you take him out at the 7-minute mark and then play Sims for the rest of the game. Do it like that.
What do you think, Steph? Which one is more important or are they equally important? Because look, I'm 45 years old, so I know how important it is to make sure my body is tuned up and ready to go, before I step into some major minutes. And there's a possibility that Taj could be stepping into some major minutes to begin the season. I think Noel will be there, and if he's sitting out tonight is just for precaution.
Right.
But how important do you think it is for Taj?
It is, and I think that may give us an indication on in terms of where Tibbs is leaning. Like if we see a lot of Taj, it may be that he's leaning toward either starting him if Noel is not available or him backing up Noel, right? If we see a lot of him in the preseason. And if that's the case, then yes, Taj is going to need some time. Like to just have him sit out the preseason and then back Noel up come time to get started. I'm not too sure about that. That being said, one thing about him though, he's like a true professional. Like last season, they just brought him from I don't know where in, right? he practiced with the team for a little bit, and then the next thing you know, he was on the court. He plugged right in, and I don't even think he missed the rotation. Like everything he was supposed to do, he's solid. But still, I think that he should get some time if he's the one that's going to be backing up Noel.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And
wait, so what's with Mitch? Because I think he's healthy. I just think they're not going to play him until the season starts.
Yeah. So what's going on with Mitchell Robinson right now is, and I'll take you back to the injury report for those who were just joining us. For the Indiana Pacers, LeVert is out. Edmund Sumner is out. T.J. Warren is also out. For the Knicks, Nerlens Noel is questionable with a sore left knee, and Mitchell Robinson is out. Obviously, with his right foot, with a sore right foot. So if Nerlens Noel is going to be out, I think it would behoove Tom Thibodeau to start Jericho Sims at the center spot.
Don't play, Tibbs.
You know, and
Don't play.
go with the starting lineup of Kemba Walker, Evan Fournier, RJ Barrett, Julius Randle, and Jericho Sims. And then they'd be going against the Pacers starting lineup, of Malcolm Brogdon, Jeremy Lamb, Justin Holiday, DeMonte Sabonis, and Miles Turner. I think it'd be great for Jericho Sims. This is the time to do it and get those jitters out early.
Right.
And Sib, for this team, if people want this team to be super successful in a way where we just connecting, I think he has to play most of these guys. It's to a point they should all have roles where we can lean on them. So it's just like if one man falls, you can plug the next guy in. These 8, 9 rosters, no, because injuries can happen, and then you have to rely on this guy and then expect a guy to come in mid-season and just produce. No, you have to get these young guys ready, get their reps, and feel like they're part of the team. Forget all that. Let them learn on the floor, and then let them come back and then see to make their game better. I think almost every player should get a chance to play on this team for this team to maximize this team. Because I just think that we have a lot of guys that have specialties and just need to learn. Just need to learn as quick as possible.
Yeah.
Quick as possible.
I want to talk a little bit about the offense. And you notice when I put those offensive principles up, shooting threes was one of the top 8 principles that the Knicks have. In the preseason, the Knicks, they had a couple of games where they shot a lot of threes. The first game in not the preseason, I'm sorry, the summer league. The first game of the summer league, the Knicks shot 40 threes. All right, they had another game where they shot 37 against the Hawks. The last game of the summer league, they shot 47 threes, and they shot it at like 44.7% versus the Hawks. All right, so do you expect to see a barrage of threes tonight? It was asked during training camp. Tom Thibodeau was asked about threes and, whether or not the Knicks would be shooting a lot of threes. His answer was kind of, coach speak. We want to make sure they're the right shots and all of that kind of stuff. But do you expect, Andy, for the Knicks to shoot a lot of threes tonight?
Well, Sam, I don't expect them to take bad shots at, forced threes is basically a turnover. Unless it goes in, but, those forced shots are not going to go in a high clip. So I rather see him produce an open shot, an open, position to score, than just take a three because we want to take more threes. So principles are principles, but as soon as you got the open shot, you're just gonna take it. I don't see many of these guys stepping out of the tactic scheme just to take a three because we want to take more threes. We know Quickly can do it, but I think the rest is more poised and they're going to understand that Tibbs wants threes, but in an unforced way. So don't take them just to take them.
Right. Nah, I agree with you there 100%. And I think we have a smart enough team.
Right.
Yeah.
To know that we're not just going to launch up threes. You heard Evan Fournier said, I'm not going out searching to shoot so many threes. I'm going to let the game come to me. But I do think it's something that's on their mind. Steph, what do you think?
I agree. And I think he said as much. We want to take more threes, but definitely in the flow of the offense. But I do think by the end of the game, if you look at it, they're going to take more than they usually do. I think a lot of times guys may have been hesitant. A lot of times guys may have, passed it up. That's not going to happen this year. I think if it's there, they're going to take it. And you got Fournier, you got Kemba, who can shoot it. So I think they are going to put up more, but it will be in the flow of the offense.
Yeah. Mark?
So again, with Tibbs, right, he has an in and out attacking style. But with his offense, why it's so good, it's efficient. So if you run the plays that he tells you to run because they work, it's all about efficiency when it comes to Tibbs. And when you look at that last year, there was a lot of open threes that we just missed. Mm-hmm. So in that case, we was a high efficient team from three last year. That's because those shots they're open. His system allows open shots. It's just about the players executing the style of play because it works. You have to make quicker decisions so guys can take heat checks. You want to see a little heat check from here and here. You want to see RJ come down on the break and take a three from here and there. It's just the confidence. And on that side of the game, we got to see more from this team to say this team can be a explosive offensive team. But when you're talking about running the offense and taking volume threes, it's never a tips team. It's all about efficiency. It just makes the team much smarter, much better. Because if you don't have offensive like Golden State, the Hawks, and have shooters like that, like shot makers and shot takers, it's a different story. But we don't have volume shot makers at the three like that. These are guys that attack you in different ways. And Kimba's game is more the mid-range, attacking you in the mid-range. Fournier will take 2-4 threes a game, but his game is more, he mixes game around. He more get to the cup and stuff like that. When you talk about volume, this team ain't gonna be a volume three-point shooting team. Okay. It's all about efficiency. And I like it that way because, better shots, she's got to make them. I'd rather take better shots than coming down and shooting.
The only thing I'll say, I think we're going to shoot more threes, without a doubt. I think we're going to shoot more threes. We shot 38% last year from the three.
How many attempts did we, as a team, take?
We were low. We were very low, like 30. I mean, for the league today, it's low. I think we were somewhere around 31 or 32 attempts per game. And that's low for the league.
Goddamn.
Now here's the thing. There were teams that shot 43s, and they might shoot only 34 or 35% from the three-point line, but because they shot a higher volume of threes, they outscored us from the three-point line, right? We might score 12 points a game from the three-point line. These teams were scoring 18, right? Because they shot such a higher volume of threes.
And two, this is a big thing too. More teams get opportunities to take those shots. The Knicks, on their possessions, it's like one at a time. Knicks got to be able to get easy buckets this year. I'm sorry, to take us to the next level. So we have to create opportunities to take more shots. And then Mitch wasn't there too to grab rebound, get offensive rebounds and stuff like that. And that's when it comes to Tibbs teams, he always had bigs that got second chance points and second chance opportunities. We have to play a little quick at times. Everybody has to change their style of play. They have to apply pressure. Yeah, Tibbs might not, his style is not pushing the ball. But if there's an opportunity to run that break, no one has to tell me to run the breaks in Jesus Christ.
Well, that he's stressing out. Mark's stressing out already. You're already stressing out, Mark. We ain't even touched the floor yet. You're already
stressing. I'm sorry, man. Look, I'm just having bad visions because when you see, when you're watching the Knicks game, right, and you're just watching guys just walking up the court, and you could just say, push the ball, attack. It's frustrating, so it's bringing up old memories. My bad.
Okay, all right.
PTSD for real.
For real.
Sorry.
Steph, do you expect, Mark alluded to it, but a higher volume of just shots? I think the Knicks are going to take more shots this year. And for some people, they may look at it and see teams scoring more points against us, but it may just be because they're getting more possessions.
Right. Sam, I hope so. Like he put pace on the board. Let's see. Let's see if that translates in the game, right? Bringing the ball up, does that also include shooting earlier in the shot clock? I don't know, but I would definitely like to see more shots up, more transition baskets, more three-point baskets. But Tibbs is so controlling in a good way, that I have to see it to believe it, quite honestly.
Yeah. Andy, what do you think, man?
Listen, I think it's going to be heavily weighted on the point guards, both Kemba and D Rose, because last year we had Elfrid Payton. When he brought up the ball up the court, he wasn't a threat. So he didn't even look to attack at the rim just to pull up or take a three. He just didn't. He just walked the ball up, waited for the whole team, waited for the whole defense to set up, and then just ran the play. Meanwhile, Kemba, if he sees that, minor lane that he can just, try to drive and stop and pull up from mid-range, he's going to do it. Yeah. And that alone is going to get you several possessions a game more, because, it's going to be more possessions because we're going to take earlier shots. I'm not saying that, it's going to be like 10, the average is going to be like 10 or 12 seconds of the possession. We're going to take a shot. But that's definitely at least a few more possessions, because Kemba and D-Rose are going to at least explore to attack the hoop or just to drive in and see how the defense reacts. We never had that from Elfrid Payton. Right. His defender had to, tie his shoe for Elfrid to think, to attack the basket. So
he was methodical as hell. He was
not. He would attack, though. He wouldn't finish, but there was times when he would definitely.
I'm telling you, someone was looking at his wife in the stands, like, okay, went back. So that was the only way.
About last year, because I agree, we walked the ball up. Elfrid Payton walked the ball. I mean, he walked. He took a stroll up the floor, right? But my only question is, did Thibodeau feel this was the best way for the Knicks to play last year, because we didn't have a high IQ? And I think in order to play fast, you've got to have a team that has a high IQ, because you've got to know where to be in a split second, right? Mm-hmm. And you got to understand how to run those lanes and how to execute on the fly. And if you don't have a team that can think that fast, then you might be better slowing it down so that you don't make all kinds of dumb mistakes. Did you see the Knicks on the fast break last year? It was terrible.
Yeah, bro, we averaged like 0 fast break points. 0. Like 0.
Yeah, but Mark, imagine,
but even the ones we had, the decision making.
Yeah, exactly. But guys, just imagine, Peyton was, running the fast break, and on one side he had Nerlens Noel, on the other he had Reggie Bullock. So I would be confused who to pass the ball to as well. Listen, I would be like, damn, I'm going to pull out. For real. Wait up for some option to on the offensive end. So listen, I understood sometimes when he just like, I'm going to wait up here. Yeah. So it's not a turnover. So
this is where the Randall playing downhill would be so much better to open up the game even more for himself and for the team, because he can push the ball to an extent. He has to be more aggressive when he gets the ball sometimes. Like when he gets the ball for rebound, just sprint. Because if he sprints, they're going to follow him. And he's decent enough to make the pass. But him coming downhill, he'll be a much better finisher. And it will make him more of a better decision maker, a quick decision maker. So if he's going to have the ball when he comes off rebound, just sprint. Don't walk up. Sprint. Try to apply pressure. If you don't got it, then we go into the half-court set. But you have to sprint. Because RJ will run. Kimber will run. Fournier will run. And even with Mitch, he's going to run. Because even prior to the years, there's times where Mitch would sprint and would never get the ball. He would never get the ball on his sprint. So it's things like that our important players have to realize. Listen, man, we have to apply pressure on the defensive end with just pushing it up the floor quick. That's it. You don't have to score on it, but push it up. Come on, you got to push it up, man. This walking up the court, it's going to leave us at 98 points.
Yeah, and Mark, just to add to that, listen, just pushing up the ball, like even with a pass or a quick dribble, even if it's versus like 1 versus 4, and you can pull it out. Those 4 guys need to put in, the strong sprint just to get back and set up the defense. Mm-hmm. So that's going to tire your defense, the defense of the opposite team, just to get back and be on time so they don't lose an easy bucket. So
what a lot of these teams are doing,
that should be the first thing any coach, I don't care if he likes slow pace, fast pace, whatever, just try to open up the court fast after the rebound or after the guys score, and then you can pull it out. Just move the ball fast on the offensive court. So
yeah, because a lot of these teams, what they do on their defense, once they chuck it up or make a shot, they're running back on defense to set their stuff. So team, like if we're not, it's because we're not a quick team, right? So if we're not a quick team on offense, you should push the ball. You should apply pressure to an extent.
Right.
Because you can't. It's hard for us to score. We have to squinch it out. Like it. We have to get easy points, easy pull-up shots, easy layups. Sometimes it was hard to watch, even though the magic was happening last year. So I just hope we just play a little more. I'm not saying play Dan Tony, but recognize that you have to push the ball to make other guys better too.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see.
We'll
see.
Yeah, we'll see how it looks. Tom Thibodeau, D'Antoni was a little bit more calm. He was okay with some mistakes and things like that.
Yeah.
Tom Thibodeau loses it a little bit. You know what I mean?
Now he goes crazy, bro.
His stress levels get high. So I don't know. He might like to see a little bit more control of the game.
Bro, he stands up throughout the whole game. He stands up throughout the whole game.
Playing at a faster pace, there's more opportunities for turnovers as well. I don't know if Tibbs can take it.
Nah, he can't. He can't take turnovers. Because if you looked at all his teams was not very high turnover teams.
Yeah.
But at times you had guys that will push the ball, recognize. But it's all about the plays that we had that can recognize certain things on the offense, and the cutting got to be more sharper. Because he likes to run a lot of cuts and stuff. So if the guys are not running the cuts as properly, as sharp as enough, then he's gonna be in the same spot that we was last year, and I hope not.
Yeah, so we will see, ladies and gentlemen. Just a quick rundown before we get up out of here. Let's take a look at the injury report as the Knicks play the Pacers tonight at Madison Square Garden at 7:30 p.m. According to the 1:30 report from the NBA for the Indiana Pacers, Karis LeVert, he's out. Excuse me with that. I hit the wrong button. Edmund Sumner, he's out. T.J. Warren is also out. For the New York Knicks, Nerlens Noel is out, or he's questionable. He's not out. And Mitchell Robinson, he's out. So with Nerlens Noel and Mitchell Robinson both being out, or possibly being out, it leads you to ask the question, who starts at the center spot? Well, my projected starting lineups are Kemba Walker at the point guard spot, Evan Fournier at shooting guard, R.J. Barrett at small forward, Julius Randle at power forward, and Jericho Sims, ladies and gentlemen, at the center spot. It's the perfect time for Jericho Sims to get that start. See what he can do.
I think that kid, defensively, when I watch him, his presence alone makes people shook. That's why I like him, because he could just stand there and teams are thinking, do I shoot?
Right.
What do I do? So the presence, when you have the presence, that just tells you that he could be a potential great defender in the low post.
Yeah, we'll see.
He's big.
And for the Pacers, Malcolm Brogdon's at the point guard spot, Jeremy Lamb's at shooting guard, Justin Holiday's at small forward, Domantas Sabonis at power forward, and Miles Turner at the center spot. Ladies and gentlemen, these are projected starting lineups. This is what's projected. And what are we looking for tonight from the Knicks? Well, there's not a lot of keys to the game. Probably not a lot of strategy to be had right now.
Just less minutes.
What we want to see is the defense. What does the defense look like? Right? We'll get a chance to have an early look at the offensive system. Very early. Things might be shaky and might look a little rugged or ragged. But we'll get an early idea of what they want to do offensively. See how many threes we take. Right? Derrick Rose said the Knicks want to take 37 to 40 threes a game.
That's reasonable.
I want to see what they do.
That's reasonable.
We want to know what the rookies look like. Might get a chance to see Jericho Sims as the starter. Of course, Quentin Grimes, Miles McBride. And, of course, we want to see what the second-year guys look like. Obi Toppin, Emmanuel Quickly. What do they look like? And then play hard and hustle. Play hard and hustle. And then one last thing before we get out of here.
I want to see Knox.
Before we get out of here, that's what I was going to ask.
I want to see Knox. I ain't gonna hold
I want to see Knox. Mark, just real quick, what do you want to see from Knox? He's going to play tonight. He should. What do you want to see? I hope he plays.
Listen.
Real quick.
I love the kid shooting form. Just let him play out and let him. I think it's more about him being in the game for a long period of time and not yanking him out to feel like Yo, he's a young guy. That's how young guys are. When they feel they get pulled out, they don't feel like they're part of the team. He understands why he's getting pulled out, but you have to allow him to understand when he's on the floor. Let him read the game. He needs the reps, man. It's just the reps because the form is there. We got a point guard that can find him. I can swear every time. One thing, when his foot is set, it's automatic shot. It's an automatic shot. I want to see that kid play. You can't waste a 6'10" guy like that. They can shoot like that.
Right.
All right. Steph?
Yeah, I mean, if you remember last season in preseason, the minutes Dennis Smith got, he got a lot of minutes. Like, they really wanted to see him. I hope that's the same with Knox, where he just gets a ton of minutes over these next four games.
Yeah, me too. Andy?
Listen, I just hope he gets a chance. Like Mark said, I understand some young players are like that they need more minutes just to make that mistake. But then again, on the next possession, to correct themselves, right? Just to learn on the fly. If they don't get that chance, they get yanked. Listen, you can, as an assistant coach, you can tell the player whatever you want. He's not going to code that down in his, memory. Just, okay, listen. No, they yelled at me when I did this. They're gonna cheer at me when I do this. So that experience on the court for young players is more valuable than 10 times said by an assistant coach when you're sitting on the bench.
And one thing too, Sam, if he plays the 4, which he should, right, in certain aspects, what I've seen when they put him in the 4 position. He's not a one-on-one defender, but what he is, he's a good backline defender where he can disrupt just with his length. Just with his length. You put him at the 4, he can't guard no threes. That's one thing. He just can't guard no threes. But if you put him at the 4 and let him play the back line of the defense, he can be very, very good. But the shooting ability that he has, the touch, his form, when he's set, I just think when it comes to, he just need a point guard that know how to find him on the wings. He runs the floor like a shooter because when you see at times when you see him run, he runs straight to the corners, and that is smart because now the defense, they have to see, am I going to stop the ball handle or am I going to go to the guy from the 3? He makes himself a threat just by knowing how to run the floor to make a 3 shot. Doesn't matter, just let that kid play.
Well, let's see what happens. Man. Ladies and gentlemen, Mark is in rare form already.
Welcome back, Mark.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight, 7:30 p.m., the Knicks and the Pacers, and of course, we'll be doing a post-game show after the game to talk about everything that transpired. We're out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Next at 4:30. Don't miss it. Coach Carl Kramer, Miles McBride's high school coach. He's going to be on with us to talk about Miles and, just kind of chop it up a little bit and what we expect from Miles McBride this year. We're out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Peace.
This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place to tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.